in split screen mode. Notice that on the left hand side you see the ads that are for sale for clients or for local businesses, and you'll see on the right hand side this ad right here is dedicated for the sponsors. This could be McDonald's and their menus. It could be I don't know, it could be a beer company or something who sponsored the system to be placed in a remote location. And why would they do that? Because the reason why they would do that, because that way they can advertise in another location outside of their own business basically for free. They pay a sponsorship of the machine, and this is how we now do our business here in Dallas. Is we have companies sponsor our machines, put them in location. They do not own the machine. They basically pay us a $750 a year sponsorship to have a machine in a remote location running their ads on the right hand side while we're selling ads on the left hand side. They get 3 other ads out and about in our network as long as they're sponsoring a machine. They get the ability to change their ads on the right hand side whenever they get ready to. And they also get a 30-day free ad in all of our systems throughout the DFW area. Again, like I said, for 30 days. So they get a lot of advertisement when they first sign up as a sponsor of a machine. Now, every year, they're doing the same sponsorship every year. This way, there's no monthly fees. There's no outlay of money on your part if you were to get a sponsor. This is a way to start the business without ever putting one dime out. Okay? Any questions so far? Now, I know a lot of you are seeing the dual screen for the first time. Well, yes, if you look closely at the dual screen, you'll see that that's not the same ad every time. Take a look at that video. This is live. You'll notice that the right side now is showing something, well, now it's showing McDonald's. Now, in actuality, what would probably happen is the sponsored side would not be showing all kind of different sponsors. I'm just showing this to you as an example. I have, McDonald's on one side. I have a Chick-fil-A. I have Burger King, all that kind of stuff. Well, the right-hand side can hold up to 50 ads, okay? But all you want to do is push the fact that a sponsor can have 10 ads running on their side. You don't want to ever say that it can handle any more, because let's say a sponsor sponsors a machine inside of a burger joint. Well, you want to save some of those spots in the sponsored side for the local place that's actually hosting the machine, the burger joint itself. So he can put in some ads like his menus or his caloric intake, things like that. Well, for real estate, yeah, you could put something like that. But remember, it's a tower ad, so it's not quite the same as the large ad that's on the left-hand side. It's more of a sponsorship. And if you notice real close, you'll see there are ads that do work. There is another difference. The ads that run on the left-hand side are JPEGs, which are full color, 16 million color type images. Whereas on the right side, those are GIF files. They are 256 color. So they're good for ads, but not quite good for photographs, even though you can do it. You'll notice the ad showing now, you'll see we have CLG Professional Services, with a lady, Angie, one of our models there. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see it's looking at spring wine dinner. And it's probably changed by now since I'm talking. It's about a 5-second delay for me. Any other questions so far on the split screen system and how it's working? Let me say also that the split screen is still 15 seconds for each one, but they independently rotate. So they randomly show something in the right side, and they randomly show something on the left side from two different locations. It's just that every 15 seconds they make a change. Any other questions? So what you're looking at is a live, real-time display of an ad server running exactly how it would be running on location. The timing is the same, and the system is actually working exactly the way you would see it. Any other questions so far on this? You control both the right and the left side. You just have two folders to control ads now, only in this split screen mode. Now your systems, when they come to you, come default as a single screen mode. Okay? Only certain screens are going to be good for split screen. You want to have at least 24 inches or larger when you do split screen. What you're looking at is actually a 15-inch screen. But I'm like, this is one of my notebooks. This to me is a little bit too small to have split screen unless it's at a checkout counter or something like that. And you'll notice this if when you're in Walmart, you'll see that's a 15-inch display that they have at the checkout counter, and they're running split screen. So it does work when you're that close. You're just standing there having to check out, so there's nowhere for you to go. But if you're like have this inside of a mall, or you have this inside of a bar or something, and people are sitting away from it, well, you definitely have to be 24 inches or bigger for someone to see both sides of the screen. Any other questions? To your question on the right side of the screen, the right side is what you're really going to be giving to your sponsor. So even though you have control over it, the ads that are going in there are all sponsored or hosted ads. Hosted ads means, let's say your sponsor, which is like Ford, is going to sponsor a machine to be hosted inside of Guido's restaurant. Well, Guido gets the right side along with Ford. Ford gets the right side to put his 10 ads in, and Guido gets the right side to put his 10 ads in. And what will happen is the right side will be sprinkled back and forth between those two, between the sponsor and the host. You are the rep of the system. You're actually selling ads for the left side. Now, whatever deal you've made with your host, you're going to have to split some commission with this guy, or give him ads in other locations for having the system on location with him. Most people would like advertisement if you have more than 2 or 3 machines. Does the machine I have be split screen? I don't know if that's a sentence, or I think you're saying, can the one you have become split screen? Well, of course it can. Just depends upon how big your screen is. I mean, anyone can become split screen. Whether you want to do it or not is another issue. Now, for me, to get sponsorships or to get people to accept it, it's better to have split screen, because now instead of the machine being a standard idiot box that's just displaying ads, it literally is something that location can now utilize. For instance, as you all probably have read on the website, as of last year, any restaurant that has 20 or more chains, or let's say 20 or more locations, have got to show their caloric input. I mean, their caloric, I don't know how you say that. I guess the caloric value of their food. And it has to be uniform across all their locations. So what better way to do this than to put digital screens in all their locations? The corporate office can control the 10 ads they put on the right hand side, which could be their caloric value of their food, and they will know they will be in compliance with the government across all their stores. We have this happening now with the Pollo Rejo restaurants here in Texas. We have about 20 of those now, and they're all going to get machines. We have all the systems, all the places locked down. It's just a matter of putting the machines in place now. But they've also bought into this because they do not want to be shut down, and they don't want to handle all the paperwork for sending banners and flyers all over the place to all their 20 locations. Every time they change their food, they'll have to remake all the papers that they have that show the caloric values. Now with digital screens, they just change a file and boom, it's controlled across all their locations. Any other questions so far? All right. All right. Now let me say also, split screens are only split screen by contacting us. I have to change some files on your system from here, and then the next time your machine logs in to check for updates, it will convert itself to a split screen. I can also force it right back to single screen mode on the fly. Your machine also needs to be in good standing. Basically, your hosted fees, your monthly fees, have to be paid because if the machine's not in good standing, it might not be working. It might be showing ads, but it might not be logging in.